Yeah, I was going to do this at the usual talking tree, but it's going to be 44 degrees today, so that's a no from me. I have decided that I will not be setting goals this year. I'm not going to do it. Last year, I set myself goals as opposed to resolutions, and that was good. I had really, really broad goals. I was going to be spending more time with people I love. I was going to be doing things that I wanted to do, prioritizing myself, getting to know myself. I did that. That's all fine. But there were still some things that I told myself that I was going to do, and I didn't get to do them, and they were more akin to goals. I was going to try to get AdSense. I was going to try to get 5,000 subscribers. There were so many things I was like, had goals to hit, and I felt terrible that I didn't do that, and I was still putting pressure on myself. And this thing about goals is something that I've been thinking about a lot coming into the new year. I had gone into this video with every intention to just reset, to get myself ready for the new year. To prepare for that, I had a week off at the start of the year. I got rid of things I didn't need anymore. I did a giant deep clean. I played countless hours of Dave the Diver. So many hours of Dave the Diver. And the more I was thinking about setting goals, and the more I now think about setting goals, the less and less I want to do it. Which all sounds very pessimistic, I promise it's not. And so I started this week of the video just trying to finish up all of my unfinished things I had from 2023.
What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars. Maybe the birds will sing about your heart. Maybe the trees will whisper the word. Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope. Fill my head with roses. I can't help but dream away. Standing on a field with you and flowers everywhere.
Hello, good afternoon. Today is one of those days where I just wonder where the day has gone, because it is 20 past 5 and I have not completed a single thing that I intended to complete today. I really thought that I was going to enter this video being like, this is the week of completing things, wrapping up 2023, starting fresh with 2024, which is still going to happen. We'll get there. But to start with, I really do have some things I need to finish. I have a video that needs to go up tomorrow. This video needs to be done. I have to start properly setting up my 5-year journal in an attempt to document my life and actually have some data on what I spend my time doing. because the frontal lobe no worky that well. It is too spicy for that. On the note of starting and preparing for the new year, I also have my new bullet journal that I need to set up. I'll talk more a little bit about that when I do the bullet journal. However, before I can get to that one, I do need to finalize and wrap up my 2023 bullet journal that I still have not completed. I also have a Notion page that I update for YouTube and reading as well. I need to duplicate those pages, make them relevant for 2024 as opposed to 2023. I also have unfinished projects coming out of my ear holes. We need to finish crocheting Jared's golf club covers because I never finished doing that. I started a drink bottle holder for my friend at work and I didn't finish that. I have a bag that I need to make for my sister and I haven't finished that. So many unfinished projects and I'm okay with it. It's fine. We're fine. I have people coming to my house very soon. I'm gonna spend some time cleaning and finishing listening to House of Sky and Breath. I'm at the point where all of the stuff starts happening. If you know, you know. And then like if I have some time, I'll bullet journal. That's where I feel like I'm at today. Where are you at today? How is the start of your 2024 going? Does anyone ever manage to wrap up all of the things from 2023 for 2024? Is that everything, or do we just perpetually roll through time and space with time, this construct that we have developed that we try to abide to? This is why I don't like New Year's. Here, what I was doing is pasting pictures of the months of July, August, and the first week of September because I found that that's when the big sad was biggest. But I also had a lot of social events and social things to do that brought me so much joy. So what I ended up doing was just pasting pictures from those things and from things that I did into my bullet journal for those months because I did not do any spreads whatsoever. We started off the week strong. We were kicking goals, we were ticking things off the to-do list. I was finishing off the tasks that represent 2023, but everything very quickly fell apart. So I'm gonna level with you and let you know. I forgot how exhausting it is to do a full day of work and then come home and continue to do things. I had gotten so used to just doing stuff that I wanted to do throughout the day and the holidays. And now we're back here. I had initially intended to do this video, not even in the hopes that it would motivate me because I was so fully invested and so ready to start the new year and to finish wrapping up everything from last year. And this is it. This is the reason I don't do the New Year's thing. I don't do it. I don't like it. I like resetting. I like planning for the month ahead. I like planning for the year ahead. There's things that I'm excited to do. I really want to do my TBR spread for my bullet journal. I want to colour all of those in. I want to start the process of slowly ticking those off. I want to finish the book I'm reading. I want to play Dave the Diver. I want to listen to a book while I do that. There's so many things that I want to do and I'm just so tired. If I was me telling someone else how to do what I'm trying to do, I would say take it one step at a time, make a small goal, do something that's easy, do something that's small to build the motivation to start with. I know the things to do. It's just prioritizing them and doing them in the right order of what I feel like I have to do. I don't have to do anything. I think I need to take the pressure off of myself. I need to realign. I need to just do one thing at a time. One step at a time. No, they're getting out. Oh, no. I probably won't include this in the video, but I got for Christmas one of the T2 collaborations with Penguin books where you get the book in the teacup and the different teas in the different book boxes, and I was so excited. And I opened one of my tea boxes and it had just bugs in it, and they had spread to the other boxes and then spread throughout my kitchen, and I now keep finding them throughout my house. And I'm going to show you, even though it's super gross, because I kept the tea bags in the bag that was sealed, that the bugs had then eaten through to get out into the other places, and I put them in a new bag. And so these are my bugs. They are gross, and I'm going to now go throw them out because I found one of them wandering around in this room, which means that they're getting out of this bag somehow. So this is the end of the bugs. They're going away. I will be back. All right, I stood up, I walked to a different room. I'm a new woman. Taking it slow, one thing at a time. The thing that I'm going to do, because I have to do, is I'm going to prepare my lunches for the week, because I'm a real adult and I'm aiming to be kinder to my body and treat it actually with care and not just eating eggs on toast for every meal like I have been. And then we'll figure out the week from there. I then proceeded into my first breakdown of the year. I then mustered up whatever energy I had left for the night to make mine and Jared's lunches for the week, and actually gave myself a brain break and just played Dave the Diver for the rest of the night. Brain is actually different today. Turns out we just had our period, which I hate. I hate that that's a thing. True to every spicy brain moment that I've had. I have about 20 to 30 minutes to sit down and do something, and so I'm choosing to spend this time updating my Notion page of all of the books that I have to read on my physical TBR, because that's one of the things that gives me great satisfaction, is slowly seeing that list dwindle. Much the same as my TBR page, my bullet journal that I still haven't done, but maybe we'll get to tonight. We don't know. We don't know. We might. Who knows? The night could take us anywhere. I'm very glad I took the time last night to just play Dave the Diver, because it was so lovely and soul nourishing. And I made some pretty decent progress in the game, so that's exciting too. And I'm now struggling to not just play Dave the Diver instead of doing all of the other things that I need to do. So, 20 to 30 minutes, we're gonna smash out some Notion. I might try and film my screen so I can show you how I do this. Hi, this is voiceover Meekela, because I clearly do not know how to screen record whatsoever, and all of this footage just did not work. So basically what I'm about to tell you here is this is my Notion and this is how I'm changing it. Okay, so what you can see here is my 2022 TBR shelf page that I had. I took this from someone else, as I'm not a creative galley on Notion. I'm 90% sure this is exactly what the template looked like when I got it, and I didn't actually change anything. The Sailor Moon theme I think was already existing. Nice and pink, lovely. What you can see here is I have my bookshelf, and this is where all of the books that I had on my physical TBR sat. And you can see here that they're either status 2, read, or read, and what format I was going to or did read them in. Here is a wish list which has some books that I was wanting to buy, and as we go down further we also have just notes on the books that I had read off the list, and they're kind of reviews but kind of just my thought dump for them. This widget never worked. I don't touch it anymore. I adapted this for 2023 when I made it look like this. I changed up the colours, I changed up the images and the GIFs. Much like the year before, the bookshelf looked exactly the same. Here you can see that this is much the same thing. This is the bookshelf that has all of the books, the status, the format, and what I rated them. Now, what I was trying to do in the video is duplicate the page for 2024 and add in all of the books that I purchased last year, because the bookshelf for this is only TBR books that are pre-existing from the year before. Basically is an accountability way for me to exist. So without giving too much away, this is what it currently looks like. I did not aesthetically jazz it up, and I still have not, and it is currently February. But literally all that Computer Meekela did in this moment of the video is add the extra books and duplicate the page. That's it. Okay, back to Past Meekela to continue with the video. I also have a wish list of books here that you guys have recommended to me. and I pick some off of that every now and then. So if you have book recommendations, they will go into that. So I guess in my like goals this year, I do intend to primarily read off of this TBR because I have 96 books on this TBR that I should read them. Like I should read the books I bought. I wanted the books at some point in time. I liked them enough to purchase them with money, so I should read them. I'm going to now go through and add in the books that are not already currently here. And then when I'm done that, I'm going to go through and see if I have it obviously as a physical book, but also if I can borrow it from the library as an ebook or an audiobook, because if I can change up the formats, I can usually read more than one book at a time. So I'll usually at any given time have a book and an audiobook going at the same time. If I'm feeling particularly invested, I can also have an ebook going as well. The different formats helps me to separate, but also having different genres as a part of that is also really helpful. So currently I'm listening to actually nothing. I just finished listening to Happy Place, but I'm reading a cozy fantasy. So I'm not going to mix the genres of a physical book and an audiobook because they blend if I read them at the same time. Spicy brain can't keep up. So that's my reasoning for categorizing them as physical, audio, and ebook. I'm going to go and do this now. You don't have to be here for this. I will touch base with you when it's all done and it's nice and it's pretty and I can show you the final product because that's way more satisfying than me sitting here doing it. Okay, so we have swapped to smaller screen because big screen was just doing too many big screen things. We have finished the database. Also, what I've just done, what I've just spent the last hour and a half doing is going to be completely moot. For context, I have scoured through all of the library apps that I have access to see what books I can borrow, ebook and audiobook, to see how I can mix up my medias here for my TBR that I currently have of 96 books, maybe 95. I'm considering unhauling one of them. So I've listed where I can find it in my Notion. It's all there. I can see it if I need to, so I don't have to scour through every single library app that I own to figure out what I'm going to read next. It looks about the same as it did before, just with more little boxes that tell you if it's an ebook or a physical book or an audiobook. It is 7:30. The night is young. We are left with a realm of possibility, but I really feel as though I'm going to say should, but I'm working on my unhelpful thinking styles, and shoulding and musting is one of the ones that I am terrible for. If you don't know what the unhelpful thinking styles are, I will leave a link in the description for a website that has some super helpful resources to understand many different things for mental health, but they're in there. That's one of them. Shoulding and musting is telling yourself that you should do something or someone else should do something or I must do this, when realistically there's no rules. There's no rules. Time is a construct. Yeah, you probably should go to work, but you have a choice not to. Or you have a choice to because you value your job and money and you think that what you're doing is making a difference, or you really enjoy what you're doing. So many things. This is not a therapy session. I am going to read a book, not because I should, because I want to. I will task myself simply with reading 50 pages to see where we end up. I just haven't felt gripped by a physical book in a while, and I think I'm out of my physical book stage. I'm in my audiobook phase because I listened to Happy Place entirely yesterday, and I did a full day of work yesterday as well, and I don't know how I did that, but I devoured it. I finished it this morning, and I've just started another one on ADHD. It's called The Year I Met My Brain by Matilda Bosley. It's cool. I think it's so far panning out to be really helpful for people who don't know a whole lot about ADHD or how to get it or what the treatments are or what it means, but just due to my job and my life, I know a lot of the stuff already, so it's a nice refresher and it's nice to put stuff in context. I'm enjoying it. We've listened to 4 hours and I started it this afternoon. So we're gonna switch. We're taking it to a physical book. I'm gonna stop talking your ear off now and actually go and read. However, that night I also succumbed to the exhaustion and couldn't read more than 5 pages. So we switched back to the audiobook and, you guessed it, played more Dave the Diver. But then true to form, we rallied and tried again the next day. I figured out why I have been a ball of unproductivity in terms of all of this, in terms of resetting. And you know, I feel so silly because my problem is this. My problem is the state of my space. I have a pizza crust here from 2 days ago. My bookshelves haven't had an order for at least 6 months. This is my problem. And so now I'm gonna fix it. That's the plan at least. Hold me to it. But in the theme of this week, that day too was lost to the hyperfixation gremlins in my brain. Trust that the irony of listening to an audiobook about managing ADHD whilst in a hyperfixation clean is not lost on me. Eventually we did run out of cleaning steam and gave into the nightly routine of once again playing Dave the Diver. I promise we're not sponsored. Now, we take a quick hiatus in the week because these two decided they were going to be brave protectors and actually unalive a brown snake. A juvenile brown snake at that, which is highly dangerous for everyone involved. Which had thrown my already vulnerable brain for the week into a spiral. And I was a shell of a human being. I literally stayed in one room, watched them to make sure that they didn't perish overnight. Positives though, thankfully they weren't bitten. They are perfectly safe. We went to the vet, they cleared it and it's all fine. Dogs 2, brown snakes 0. And I did get to spend the night monitoring them and playing Dave the Diver, which I actually managed to finish. And this is the first game I've finished in a very long time. This game has somewhat reawoken my gaming love. Now all I want to do is spend my time playing cozy games. So if you have any recs, hit me up. At this stage, a week had already passed and I started to actually give up any hope that this week was going to be a success at all, or that I was even going to get this video to be anything cohesive or done. I had done none of the reset things that I actually wanted to do. I hadn't even finished up with most of the 2023 things. But the weekend hit and we were imbued with a strength that I had not seen since my week off. I finally started to outline my new bullet journal for the year, started to get organized and decided that my bookshelves really needed some love and attention. They had been neglected for months and that was due to me wanting to do something else with it, but that obviously never eventuated, so here we are.
Lay your head on my chest. I know you've had a really bad day, but I'm right here, it's gonna be okay. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go over now, so don't despair.
It's done. I have realised that I need more bookshelves. That is the conclusion I have come to after this. Because despite the fact that I cleared up an entire 2 shelves of space, there's still not enough space for all the books. Those 2 shelves are sitting over there on the ground waiting for another thing to happen. I have mostly finished my bullet journal. I will show you that in a hot minute, but I have 1 spread left to go. No, that's a lie. I have 3 left to go. One of them is my bookshelf, and it is the one I'm the most excited for, but also the most terrified to draw, because what if I get it wrong? But alas, my bookshelves are again in some form of order. This is not their final form. The final form hopefully will happen this year. That is my plan. I would like the library to be what I want it to be this year. That's my intent. We'll see how we go. Okie dokie. I'm calling it. This is the end of the reset. This is officially as far as I'm going to get into resetting officially for 2024. I have come to the conclusion that I'm in an audiobook phase. I'm out of a physical reading phase. It is taking so much of my brain power just to read like 10 pages, if that. But I've blasted through 4 audiobooks in the last 14 days. Audiobooks it is for the time being. Really quickly, rapid fire, I finished House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J Maas, waiting for the new one to come out. I listened to The Year I Met My Brain, which is a lived experience handbook type thing by an Australian author who has ADHD and going through basically what you do when you've been diagnosed with ADHD as an adult. Helpful if you have no idea about what it is or if you need help with that. Less helpful if you already have a bit of an understanding, but still lovely to listen to. I finished Happy Place by Emily Henry. I have that somewhere. It's up there. I listened to this one very quickly. Once again, playing Dave the Diver. It was very easy to listen to and very compulsively listenable. And I finished listening to Love Sugar Magic, A Dash of Trouble. This is by Anna Mariano. It is kind of a cozy fantasy. I picked it up with the intent to read it in a cozy fantasy video, but then didn't. Glad I didn't. I think it's still technically cozy, but in the way that all middle grades are a little bit cozy because things don't have super high stakes in middle grades. Very centralized on middle school problems, but it was cute. Listened to it very quickly. Once again, Dave the Diver. The mode of all of my listening over the last week. I'm currently still reading Bookshops and Bone Dust, almost halfway through at the moment. Like I said, physical reading, not my forte right this minute. But before I left for today, I did actually want to show you my bullet journal, finally. So this is what it looks like. It's a notebook therapy one. I got this because it was cheaper than the Archer and Olive ones. I've been an Archer and Olive girly for the last 3 years straight, but the prices were just so expensive this year and I could not justify forking out nearly $100 for one journal. So I went to Notebook Therapy. They're pretty, from what I can tell, on par in terms of usability. However, I bought, like an idiot, the smaller one, like a little bit shorter. So it's not the full size. You can get the full size. I just didn't for some unknown reason. It's also less pages, so we have to find a way to make that work this year somehow. But just before I jump into this really quickly, one of the Hobonichi 5-year journals that I got for this year. This is essentially a 5-year journal. Every day in the journal has 5 sections that you can write each year what is going on that day. I'm writing in this everything that happens in a day that is like significant or noteworthy for 5 years, so that I can have that data somewhere that is not in my brain, because spicy brain do not hold the information. So, bullet journal. On the first page, I have nothing. On the second page, the first official spread I have in here is the future log. This is basically January through to December, the year overview. I'm going to particularly use this space for birthdays because I'm a terrible person in remembering birthdays, and so I need the help. I'm writing it all down here. Everyone's birthdays will be input into this. The next page is my intentions dump and also my year in pixels. I did goals last year. I still don't know quite how I'm going to use this page, but it's there if I'm going to use it. The year in pixels is something I've done every year for the past 4 years. Actually, in every bullet journal I've ever had, I've had a year in pixels. And essentially this is just, you have a color assigned to an emotion for that day, and then you color in whatever emotion you primarily felt that day, every day in the year. All of the designs for this, by the way, I usually get off Pinterest, and I usually just either terribly copy paste onto my own books, or I adapt them to be what I want them to be. Like for example, this one, I took the structure and layout of all of the squares, but I put my own title in the middle of it because I didn't like the one that was there. Next page, I have not completed because it is my TBR shelf and I'm terrified, but I just bought new pens today to do this. We'll see, it's scary, what if I get it wrong? The next page is the books that I've read. I've already filled this out a little bit because I've read some books this year, but I have 100. I don't suspect I'm going to get to 100. I still haven't made 100 books in a year yet, and I don't suspect that this year is going to be any different, but it's there if I need it. And I actually have a DNF section in this one because it got really confusing last year writing down what books were what, especially if I didn't finish them. So there's a specific DNF section. The next page is my new books spread. This is where I just write down what new books I get, how much they were, and when I got them. It's just a bit of a accountability measure for me. I'm intending to try and spend less money on books this year, particularly because I have 96 of them sitting just there, waiting to be read. And then obviously next to that is my 24 and 24. I do this most years. However, this year's I've only put really the books that I'm anticipating that are coming out, like House of Flame and Shadow and the second House in the Cerulean Sea. I'm manifesting Doors of Stone being released. I don't know if it will. I'm just manifesting it. We're putting out the positive vibes into the universe to hope that Patrick Rothfuss hears them. But everything else on there is either books that I've already read that I want to reread, or books that I have on my TBR. There's really nothing in there that I have to like physically go out and buy that is already released. And then the next two blank pages will be where my crochet projects and housework list go. So that's like my general overview structure of my bullet journal for this year. I feel sufficiently prepared, at least to go forth into the third week of January. This week was hard, but it's done. And next week is a new week. So I'm going to hand you back to the, I'm sure, very capable hands of future Meekela to send us out for the week. And so this year I won't be setting goals. This week is evidence enough that I should not be setting goals for the year. I should not be setting expectations for myself because I don't know what my energy levels are going to be. I don't know how my mental health is going to be, and I don't know how I'm going to be. Making goals puts a crushing weight on my brain, excuse you, that isn't necessary. These goals aren't vital. These things I want to do aren't vital. They're good for feeling good sometimes, but it's not worth the stress of not achieving those goals. Instead, I will be doing something that is probably a better way of describing what I did last year, which is just setting intentions for the year and setting overarching themes of prioritizing what's going to be good for me in the moment. And so 2024 is the year of doing less. This year I want to spend less money, or at least be more mindful about where I spend it. I want to get back into actually feeling creative with videos and not falling into the weekly grind of pumping out a video if I'm not happy with it and if I'm not okay with it creatively. That does mean we'll be a little less consistent here, but I'm gonna do my best because I do also still want to prioritize like spending time with my family and my friends and doing things that I love. I spend a lot of time here. I just think overall it's probably going to be best for you and for me. Setting vague intentions or overarching themes worked so much better than I had intended it to last year. And I don't think it came down to any like active choice of pursuing those things. I think it came down to just allowing myself and giving myself permission to do other things and to do things that I knew were gonna fill me with joy and were going to be healing for my mental health and my soul. Giving myself permission to not work towards a goal or to be productive or anything like that, because rest is productive. I found myself wondering at some point last year why I hadn't produced a lot of content or consumed enough content. But then I sat down and I actually looked at how much I did last year, and I did so much. We went to 4 weddings. I got to wear my fairy princess dress twice, which was amazing. I went camping for the first time as an adult. I haven't been camping in my conscious memory, essentially. Yes, it was painful, but we did it. We went to the snow and I fell in love with snowboarding to the point where even in the dead of summer on our 44-degree days, I still think about snowboarding. I got back into crocheting properly and making things for people I love and making things for myself. Bye. Sit. Drop. Good girl. Once you crochet one household item or decor item, the world is your oyster. The possibilities become endless. I got to see live music again, both one of my favorite bands of all time and at a music festival, which was so much fun. I got my dream job in my dream location, finally. And last year I finally got diagnosed with ADHD, which was literally life-changing. Oh god, I'm gonna cry. It has had such a profound impact both on my mental health and my self-identity even. So many of the things that I used to think were just personality flaws of mine, or that were things that I just wasn't good at that other people were, turns out my brain just doesn't work the way that I thought it did, or the way that I thought it should have. And to wrap it up in a nice little bow, we got engaged in 2023, and I'm contractually obliged to say that it is the biggest thing that happened to me in 2023. Though it hasn't actually changed anything about how I operate or how we operate or anything in general, it just feels nice. And I get to wear a pretty ring that I don't currently have on, but I get to wear a pretty ring every day that Jared hand designed for me, specifically for me, with so much thought. I love, love. Love is great. So welcome to 2024. Welcome to a new year. Much like last year, I hope that your year is restful. Don't rush into starting the year. I will disclose it has been about 3 weeks since I filmed the initial content of this video. Plans don't plan as planned here. I hope that you can set some positive intentions for the year, set some exciting intentions, set some intentions that are going to bring you happiness and just some peace. I think we all just need a bit of peace this year. I definitely just need a bit of peace this year. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're having a fantastic day or night, whatever time it is where you are in the world. And I will hopefully see you next week. Goodbye. Trust. Sylvie.